Eugene Wesley, Gene Roddenberry was an American television screenwriter, producer, populistic philosopher, and futurist. He is best remembered for creating the original Star Trek television series. Born in El Paso, Texas, Roddenberry grew up in Los Angeles, where his father worked as a police officer. Roddenberry flew 89 combat missions in the Army Air Forces during World War II, and worked as a commercial pilot after the war. Later he followed in his father's footsteps and joined the Los Angeles Police Department, and also began to focus on writing scripts for television. As a freelance writer, Roddenberry wrote scripts for Highway Patrol, Have Gun Will Travel, and other series, before creating and producing his own television series, The Lieutenant. In 1964, Roddenberry created Star Trek, which premiered in 1966 and ran for 3 seasons before being cancelled. Subsequently, he worked on other projects including a string of failed television pilots. However, the syndication of Star Trek led to its growing popularity, which in turn led to Star Trek feature films, which Roddenberry continued to produce and consult. In 1987, the sequel series Star Trek: The Next Generation began airing on television in first-run syndication. Roddenberry was heavily involved in the initial development of the series, but took a less active role after the first season due to ill health. He continued to consult on the series until his death in 1991. In 1985, he became the first TV writer with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and he was later inducted by both the Science Fiction Hall of Fame and the Academy of Television Arts and Sciences Hall of Fame. Years after his death, Roddenberry was one of the first humans to have his ashes carried into Earth orbit. The Star Trek franchise created by Roddenberry has produced story material for almost 5 decades, resulting in 6 television series and 12 feature films. A 13th film is scheduled to be released in 2016, Star Trek's 50th anniversary. Additionally, the popularity of the Star Trek universe and films has inspired films, books, comic books, video games, and fan films set in the Star Trek universe. Early life and career. Roddenberry was born on August 19, 1921 in his parents' rented home in El Paso, Texas. The first child of Eugene Edward Roddenberry and Caroline Glenn Roddenberry. The family moved to Los Angeles in 1923 after Gene's father passed the civil service test and was given a police commission there. During his childhood, Roddenberry was interested in reading, especially pulp magazines, and was a fan of stories such as John Carter of Mars, Tarzan, and the Skylark series by E. Smith. Roddenberry majored in police science at Los Angeles City College, and became interested in aeronautical engineering. He obtained a pilot's license through the United States Army Air Corps-sponsored civilian pilot training program. He was posted to Bellows Field, Oahu, to join the 394th Bomb Squadron, 5th Bombardment Group, of the 13th Air Force, which flew the Boeing B-17 Flying Fortress. On August 2, 1943, while flying out of Espiritu Santo, the plane Roddenberry was piloting overshot the runway by 500 feet and impacted trees, crushing the nose, and starting a fire, killing 2 men. The official report absolved Roddenberry of any responsibility. Roddenberry spent the remainder of his military career in the United States, and subsequently flew all over the country as a plane crash investigator. He was involved in a further plane crash, this time as a passenger. He was awarded the Distinguished Flying Cross and the Air Medal. He subsequently began to fly for Pan American World Airways, including routes from New York to Johannesburg or Calcutta, the 2 longest Pan Am routes at the time. A further crash occurred while he was on the Clipper Eclipse on June 18, 1947. The plane landed in the Syrian desert, and Roddenberry dragged wounded passengers out of the burning plane and led the group to get help. 14 people died in the crash. 11 passengers needed hospital treatment. 8 were unharmed. He resigned from Pan Am on May 15, 1948, and decided to pursue his dream of writing, particularly for the new medium of television. Roddenberry applied for a position with the Los Angeles Police Department on January 10, 1949, and spent his first 16 months in the traffic division before being transferred to the newspaper unit. This became the Public Information Division, and Roddenberry became the chief of police's speechwriter. He became technical advisor for a new television version of Mr. District Attorney, which led to him writing for the show under his pseudonym, Robert Wesley. He began to collaborate with Ziv television programs, and continued to sell scripts to Misty, District Attorney, in addition to Ziv's Highway Patrol. In early 1956, he sold 2 story ideas for I Led 3 Lives, and he found that it was becoming increasingly difficult to be a writer as well as a policeman. On June 7, 1956, he resigned from the force to concentrate on his writing career.